The ayes to the right, 317. The noes to the left, 301.
The ayes to the right, 317. The noes to the left, 301. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlocked. But the question is the main motion as amended. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. No. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. But on a point of order, the point of order of the Prime Minister.
On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, a fortnight ago, this House clearly rejected the proposed withdrawal agreement and political declaration, with just 202 members voting in favour. Tonight, a majority of honourable members have said they would support a deal with changes to the backstop. Combined with measures to address concerns over Parliament's role in the negotiation of the future relationship and commitments on workers' rights in law where need be, it is now clear that there is a route that can secure a substantial and sustainable majority in this House for leaving the EU with a deal. We will now take this mandate forward and seek to obtain legally binding changes to withdrawal agreement that deal with concerns on the backstop while guaranteeing no return to a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. And my colleagues and I will talk to the EU about how we address the House's views. As I said this afternoon, there is limited appetite for such a change in the EU, and negotiating it will not be easy. But in contrast to a fortnight ago, this House has made it clear what it needs to approve a withdrawal agreement. Many honourable members have said that the continuing protection of workers' rights after Brexit is something that needs to be strengthened. And my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Business, will intensify our work with honourable members from across the House and the trade unions this week. And my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union, will do the same on how we engage this House further in our approach to negotiating our future partnership with the EU. As well as making clear what changes it needs to approve the withdrawal agreement, the House has also reconfirmed its view that it does not want to leave the EU without a withdrawal agreement and future framework. I agree that we should not leave without a deal. However, simply opposing no deal is not enough to stop it. The government will now redouble its efforts to get a deal that this House can support. And to that end, I want to invite my right honourable friend, the member for Meriden, the honourable member for Birmingham-Erdington, and all those that tabled amendments in opposition to no deal to discuss how we can deliver that by securing a deal. In light of the defeat of the right honourable member, the Leader of the Opposition's amendment, I again invite him to take up my offer of the meeting to see if we can find a way forward. Mr. Speaker, if this House can come together, we can deliver the decision the British people took in June 2016, restore faith in our democracy and get on with building a country that works for everyone. And as Prime Minister, I will work with members across the House to do just that.
The point of order, the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Jeremy Corbyn.
Because since we've had this debate and the House has emphatically voted to reject the no-deal option that the Prime Minister was supporting, could I say that we are prepared to meet her, to put forward the points of view from the Labour Party of the kind of agreement we want with the European Union to protect jobs, to protect living standards and to protect rights and conditions in this country. It's exactly the offer that was made last September, exactly the offer that was made 2 weeks ago, and I look forward to meeting the Prime Minister to set out those views to her on behalf of my party.
Point of order, Mr. Ian Blackford.
Mr. Speaker, this House has spoken
The Right Honourable Gentleman is the leader of the third party in this place, and he represents an important body of opinion. And as was exhorted earlier, people should treat opinions that differ from their own with respect. The Right Honourable Gentleman will be heard, however long it takes, and that's all there is to it. Mr. Ian Blackford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House this evening has given an instruction to the Government that no deal must be taken off the table. I am flabbergasted, frankly, that the Prime Minister still seems to be in denial. And I ask what measures the Prime Minister will bring forward, what legislation she will bring forward to make sure that we remove that threat of no deal from legislation. Mr. Speaker, this is a sad day where the Prime Minister has had to admit that her deal doesn't have the support and that she's prepared now to try and pick away at the backstop. We were told that the backstop was there to protect the peace process, but tonight the Conservative Party has effectively ripped apart the Good Friday Agreement. This House, Mr. Speaker, should be ashamed of itself. The contempt shown by the United Kingdom Government right across these islands is stark. This Government, Westminster and the Tory Party has no respect for the devolved administration or for the other regions of the United Kingdom. Scotland has been silenced, sidelined and shafted by the Tories. Tonight, Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Party has ripped apart the Good Friday Agreement, an international treaty. You know, Mr. Speaker, this is serious because we are talking about a treaty which has delivered peace to the island of Ireland. Mr. Speaker, what they have done is they've reneged on the backstop and reneged on the Good Friday Agreement. Mr. Speaker, can you advise what mechanisms are open to this House to protect the rights of democratic rights of the devolved regions and nations, the Good Friday Agreement and the peace process that this Government are prepared to disregard?
Order. I will take the Right Honourable Gentleman's question as a rhetorical question rather than a substantive question. He knows that Parliament is here to debate and to vote, and the Right Honourable Gentleman is well familiar. I'm addressing the Right Honourable Gentleman. Perhaps do me the courtesy of listening to me. He has the mechanisms of the House available to him. Yes, I will take other points of order briefly. Point of order, Sir Vincent Cable.
Now that the House has given the Prime Minister contradictory instructions to have no deal, but to pursue a course of action that will lead to no deal, will she return to the House tomorrow and give clearer indication about what these alternative arrangements actually are, which have been rejected at her own summit at Chequers, that now appear to be the basis of negotiation?
I'm very grateful to the Right Honourable Gentleman for his point of order, but what I would say to him, and I know he'll take it in the right spirit, this is not Prime Minister's questions. Prime Minister's questions will take place tomorrow. I think, if I understand correctly, the Right Honourable Gentleman was more concerned to make his point than to elicit a reply from the Prime Minister, and there is no reason for the Prime Minister to feel any need to reply tonight. The Right Honourable Gentleman has made his point. There will be ample opportunity for further exchanges, doubtless tomorrow and in many subsequent days. Yeah, I will come to the Honourable Lady, but point of order, Mr. Nigel Dodds.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Speaker. And can I just say, on behalf of, I know that we represent 10 seats in Northern Ireland, and the Honourable Lady behind me represents one, and there are others who represent a different point of view, but who refuse to take their seats in this House. But it is quite frankly outrageous, and I'm speaking on behalf, I believe, of both communities in Northern Ireland, to say that this vote tonight drives a coach and horses through the Good Friday Agreement. It does nothing of the sort. And it is utterly reckless to talk in those terms. Utterly reckless. Utterly reckless. The fact of the matter is that nobody in Northern Ireland, no political party, is advocating any kind of hard border in the island of Ireland. And we certainly do not advocate what others advocate, which is creating borders within the United Kingdom or ripping up the United Kingdom. can I say, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, that this is a significant night because for the first time the House by a majority has expressed what deal, the sort of deal that will get through and will have a majority, and we will work with the Prime Minister to deliver the right deal for the United Kingdom.
I thank the right honourable gentleman for his point of order. Point of order, Liz Saville-Roberts.
When the woman holding the title of Prime Minister is driven solely by the ideal of holding the Tory party together, and the man known as the leader of the opposition will neither lead nor oppose, how do you advise we get the House back to working for the communities we are supposed to represent?
Well, again, if I may very politely say so, I think the honourable lady's point of order, although it contains what is ostensibly an inquiry, is a point of order in which he is making her point rather than seeking anything from me. The short answer to the honourable lady is, as I said a moment ago, there will be further debate. Members must speak and vote as they think fit. All of these matters will be thoroughly aired in the days and weeks to come, and I'm sure we all look forward to that. The honourable lady from her vantage point, and I from mine. Oh, very well. Point of order, Mr. Angus Brendan McNeill.
I hope you can advise, Mr. Speaker. The House seems to have got itself in a contradictory position. Firstly, it wants no deal. It wants no deal off the table. And secondly, it doesn't accept the deal that the European Union is putting forward. Is it not the case that the United Kingdom Parliament is not at the mercy of the European Union? Because if we are in a situation where we have no deal taken off the table and we're not accepting the deal they're offering, where do we go from here? You get a better deal.
The honourable gentleman may wish to offer the views that he's just expressed to the news outlets that operate in Anhelion and Yar, and I rather suspect that that is what he will want to do. Local newspapers and radio stations will doubtless be very interested in the views that the honourable gentleman wishes to express, but they're not matters of which I can treat now. The House has decided what it has decided. Well, the honourable gentleman is saying that these matters are in contradiction of each other or have to be weighed against each other, but of course it's not a matter for the chair to offer an exegesis to the House of the way in which it is voted. Members will make their own assessment, and we know what statute says, and we know what expressions of opinion have been recorded by the House today. And the honourable gentleman, although his brow is furrowed, he's a perspicacious fellow, and I'm sure he'll get his head around these matters in the hours, days and weeks to come. And we look forward to that with eager anticipation. If there are no further points of order, I think we do now come, colleagues, to motion 4, exiting the European Union, brackets, agriculture. The whip to move. Thank you. Thank you. The question is as on the order paper. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. No. The ungrateful. Thank you. The division is deferred until tomorrow. Motion number 5, exiting the European Union, environmental protection. The whip to move. I beg to move. Thank you. The question is as on the order paper. As most have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Motion number 6, exiting the European Union, civil aviation. The whip to move. I beg to move. Thank you. The question is as on the order paper. As most have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Motion number 7, radioactive substances. The whip to move. I beg to move. Thank you. The question is as on the order paper. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. 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 The division is deferred. Motion 7 on radioactive substances. The division is deferred until tomorrow. Motion number 8, exiting the European Union, environmental protection. The whip to move. I beg to move. Thank you. The question is as on the order paper. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes